Hey, beloved St. Bart's. Hey, friends, this is week 3 of our journey through the book of Revelation, and we're going to look at the first half of chapter 1. And the first thing that John establishes for us there is also one of the most important things that we need to hold on to as we read the book of Revelation, especially in any book of the Bible, and that's time and place. As I said last week, one of the most important questions to ask and answer when we're reading any book of the Bible is, what was the original author trying to say to their original audience? And John tells us that right in the first 4 verses, which read, "The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave to show his servants what must soon take place. He made it known by sending his angel to his servant John, who testified to the word of God and to the testimony of Jesus Christ, even to all that he saw. Blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of the prophecy, and blessed are those who hear and who keep what is written in it. For the time is near. John, to the 7 churches that are in Asia." So John immediately establishes time and place. This is something that must soon take place, and the time is near, and it's written to the 7 Christian communities in Asia, ancient Asia Minor, ancient Turkey. And what do we know about this original audience of John's, these 7 churches in Asia Minor? Well, you'll notice that above my shoulder here is a stained glass window made by one of our members of St. Bart's, Bob Hart, who's an amazing stained glass artist. It's our St. Bartholomew window. And like many ancient and medieval depictions of the saints who are martyrs, it includes the instruments of how they were martyred or were killed because of their faith in Jesus, and that's how you know what it's talking about. You can see 3 knives in this window, which indicate to you the kind of death that Bartholomew suffered because of his faith in Jesus. The first Christians that were in the 7 churches of Asia Minor were undergoing very similar suffering and persecution. Certainly had martyrs among them, we would think, because they were under the rule of the Roman Empire, the largest military political force in the world at that time, most likely between the year 80 and 96 AD, the reign most likely of the Roman Emperor Domitian, who was one of the worst persecutions of Christians in history. And so that's what the people are going through who this book is written to. Christians being persecuted, suffering, traumatized because of their faith in Jesus. And when anyone is suffering or being persecuted or being traumatized, one of the most important things that they and we need is hope. And so the letter of Revelation that John, a real person, wrote to these real Christians at the end of the 1st century was to give them hope. The Lord gave John this vision and instructed him to write it down and then send it to them, if you will, at real addresses to give them hope. Because when they were suffering for their faith, I'm sure they had to wonder, is it worth it? Is Caesar really the Lord of the world, or is Jesus the Lord of the world? Is this persecution I'm undergoing something God even cares about? Is God trustworthy? Is Jesus trustworthy? And what John is showing them and writing to them that God revealed is that they can hope in God. And so this book is written to a group of persecuted, suffering, traumatized Christians at the end of the 1st century. You need to hold on to that. Time and place matters. Because when the more prophetic sounding things pop up in later chapters of this book, people throughout history have tried to say that it was written about all different times and places. The Soviet Union during the 80s and communism, or, people might think it's being written about the year 2025. Who knows? But the time and place of Revelation is the 1st century, under the reign of the Roman Emperor Domitian. It's written to a specific group of 7 churches. And it introduces at the second half of chapter 1 the main character, the most important character, Jesus Christ. And so as you read Revelation, hold on to the foundation of the time and place, who it was written to and who it was originally written for. And then we can mine the treasures that are in there that apply to us today. But we always need to keep those 2 priorities straight. So next week, Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords.